Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll learn about your second chapter, that is nutrition in animals. In the previous chapter, we have learned nutrition in plants. That means how plants take food and how they utilize their food. Okay, the entire process. And in this chapter, we'll learn about all animals, how animals take food, how they digest food, how they absorb nutrients from food. Okay, this overall process we learn in this chapter. So before starting today's class, let me discuss something apart from this chapter. It is the expert in anything was once a beginner. Always remember this line. Okay, the expert in anything was once a beginner. That means you have seen good doctors are there, good teachers are there. You have multiple times you may think that okay, this doctor is too expert, because whenever you go to him and you tell that sir, I have this disease, he gives you some only two or three medicine, you become okay. Or there are some teachers who can teach you without any book, so you think okay, this teacher is too expert, he knows everything. But remember, from the first day he started study, he was not expert. Okay, he was practicing it again and again, again and again, again and again, and ultimately today he is an expert. Okay, so if you think you want to do something in future, for example, you think you want to be a doctor in your future, so you need to start it from today. These chapters what we are reading, nutrition in animals, we human beings also comes under the chapter. Okay, so digestion, nutrition means how we eat food and what we get from it, digestion process entire is there, entire digestive system is there, and it is of human being. So after some years, if you become a doctor and you think you want to be a expert, so what you need to do, from today you need to start. Okay, whatever you will study today, it will help in you in your future. Always remember this. So there is no tomorrow. You can't say that okay, after I'm just in class 7, when I'll be in class 10, or after class 10 metric I'll read properly, I'll become good doctor. No, you have to start from today. So don't wait for tomorrow, start from today. And if you start today, then ultimately after practicing it several times, you will become an expert in your future. So before starting nutrition in animals, let us first recall from previous chapter what is nutrition. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is a process of taking food by an organism and its digestion, absorption and utilization by the body. Okay, remember this. It's digestion, absorption and utilization by the body. Again, I'm repeating, what is nutrition? Nutrition is a process by which an organism, either it may be plant or animal or microorganisms, okay, absorbs process in which it digests food, absorb food and utilize it for its body functions. Okay, so what is animal nutrition? This similar definition is of animal nutrition. Okay, animal nutrition is a process, just add animal over here. Animal nutrition is a process of taking food by an animal and its digestion, absorption and utilization by the body. So how animal nutrition is different from plant nutrition? In nutrition we have two types. Okay, one is plant nutrition, another one is animal nutrition. So how is this animal is different from plant? What plant do, we have learned that most of the plant can do photosynthesis. In previous chapter we learned that plants can do make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. But what do animal do, or what animal does? Animals are not capable of preparing their own food. Animal directly or indirectly, all animals depend on plants. For example, we are eating green vegetables, it is from plant. But we are eating, for example, we are drinking milk. Okay, from where we are getting milk? We are getting milk from cow. Okay, what cow is eating? Cow is eating grass. So ultimately cow is dependent on grass and we are dependent on, we are eating milk from cow. So ultimately directly we are eating vegetable, or indirectly we are eating milk that is also coming from vegetables. So directly or indirectly we are dependent on all green plants, okay, for our food or nutrition. So animal nutrition is nothing but same as nutrition. Animal nutrition is the process of taking food by an organism and its digestion, absorption, and utilization. Okay, the only difference between animal nutrition and plant nutrition is some animals can prepare their own. Some plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, and they are called autotrophs. They are self-dependent. And here, in case of plant animal nutrition, the animal cannot prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So all animals directly or indirectly depend on plants for our food. Okay, so there are some steps in the process of nutrition. So basically there are five main steps in the process of animal nutrition. These are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and digestion. What is ingestion? Ingestion is nothing but the process in which the food is taken inside the body of an organism. Is called ingestion. For example, we eat using our hand. Okay, we eat using our hand. For example, from the plate we are eating, so using our hand we will take the food from the plate and we will give it to our mouth. So this process is called as ingestion. Okay, the process by which food is taken inside the body of an organism is called ingestion. When we put food into our mouth with hands, we are ingesting food. Remember, as I told, whenever we are putting any food into our mouth using our hand, it is called as ingestion. However, different animals ingest food in different ways and have special organs for this purpose. Different animals, all animals do not use the same process as we are using. We can ingest with the help of hand, but for example, a cow, how cow ingest food? They directly ingest food with the help of their mouth. Okay, monkey, how monkeys ingest food? With the help of their head. So all animals have some different mechanism or different process by which they ingest food. The next is digestion. So what is digestion? The food of most of animals consists of complex insoluble substances that cannot be absorbed by their body. Okay, for example, you are eating meat. Okay, meat is a complex thing. We all know meat is a complex thing because in previous classes also you've studied in muscle is formed of what? Our body organ, everything is formed of cells unit to the tissue then organs. So it will be a muscle will be a complex thing, meat will be a complex thing. So to digest it for your stomach normally it is difficult, so we need a digestive system. Okay, so we need to digest or break down the food. Digest means nothing but the breaking down of food into small components. If you have a if you are eating a big food, then you need to break it into a small components. Okay, breaking down food into big to small is known as digestion. With the help of some chemicals secreted by our digestive system, there are some parts in the digestive system which secrete some chemical. Okay, the food of most animals consists of complex insoluble substance called that cannot be absorbed by the body. The breakdown of complex insoluble food substances into simple soluble food substance. Okay, meat is insoluble, you cannot mix meat with water, so it will be insoluble, so you need to convert it into soluble form. Okay, so the breakdown of complex insoluble food substance into simple soluble form substance with the help of digestive juice prepared by the body is called digestion. Digestive juice means, as I told, in our body there are some organs or some part which secrete some chemicals and enzymes which are useful or which help in the process of this digestion. This breaking down of food into complex to simple soluble form is known as digestion. Okay, then is absorption. Okay, now food, you have taken food, ingestion is done, then you have digested food. Now you need to, your body need to absorb the food. Okay, the food will always not remain in your stomach. You need food for different activities, for movement, for walking, for playing. You need energy food, so this energy or food need to travel throughout your body everywhere. So the next is absorption, the process in which the simple soluble digested food substance are absorbed into the body is called blood, is called absorption. So we know what blood do in our body. The basic three functions for maintenance of body are related to the carrying of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and food to different parts. Okay, so the process in which blood cells absorb the food materials from the what digestive system is known as absorption. The process in which blood cell absorb the food material or energy from the digestive system is known as absorption, then is assimilation. Now blood cell have absorbed it, so they need to distribute it. Okay, distribution. The simple soluble absorbed food substances are transported. That means transported means what? In different part you are transporting it, you are distributing it to different parts of the body where they are utilized for energy, growth, and repair. This process is called assimilation. Okay, then next we have digestion. So we are, for example, you are eating food. All the foods are not utilized by the body. Some foods are utilized and some will remain as undigested, in which your body cannot act, or your body do not need this food. Okay, so what will happen? You will throw out this food by your from your body through the anus. Okay, so in this process, what we do, a part of the food that we eat remains undigested and unabsorbed. It cannot be utilized by the body cannot utilize this food. Okay, the process in which the undigested food is removed by the body is called digestion. That means the food you don't need, what you will do? We all remove the food from our body through the anus. Okay, the process is called as toilet or something. Okay, in this process what we'll do, we'll remove the unwanted food. So this is known as digestion. Now, modes of procuring food, there are also, okay, as I explained in the previous slide, that ingestion can be different in different organisms. So how animals procure food, then how different animals take their food. Okay, we need to know about how different animals take their food also. So the mode of procuring food into body varies in different organisms. As I told, human and in case of what, cow, both have different mode of procuring. Human absorbs food with the help of hand, and cow do with the help of their mouth. Organism has some special structures to procure food. Okay, each organism has some special structure. What does this special structure means? For example, in case of human, we have hand, so hand is our special structure. In case of cow, they have mouth, so their mouth is their special structure. Okay, now let us learn each individually. Human beings, how human beings do, we all know. Human beings use their hands to take food into their mouth. We use our hand to eat food. Okay, then ruminants, who are known as ruminants, the animals such as cow, horse, goat are known as ruminants. Okay, ruminating animals such as cow, horse pick food. By how they pick food? Cow eat food with the help of their mouth. Cow never eat with the help of their hand. Okay, have you ever seen cow eating food with hand? No, they eat with the help of mouth. Horse, goat, all eat with the help of their mouth. Okay, then we have one microorganism, paramecium. What is paramecium? Paramecium is a unicellular organism like amoeba. Okay, amoeba, paramecium, these are unicellular, means only one cell is present in this organism. Remember this, only one cell present means unicellular. Uni means one. So paramecium is a unicellular. That means the entire paramecium you can see over is a only one cell. Okay, it is in one cell. So you cannot see this with your eyes. You need a microscope to see this. But in this book, for your understanding purpose, the picture is given in big size. Okay, don't get confused. Has fine hair-like structures called cilia all over the body. This organism, what it has? It has this hair-like structure all over its body. You look at this picture, you'll get an idea. See, here number of hair-like structure over this structure, this or these hair-like structures are known as cilia. For example, our facial hair, consider it is beard. Okay, so in case of this, it is having hair in its all over its body. Okay, outside. So these hair are known as cilia. The name of this hair is cilia. Okay, the constant movement of cilia pushes the food particles along with the water current into the body. So what the cilia do? The constant movement, this cilia will move like this. Okay, and if food comes here, so this will just push the food to go the place it wants. Okay, for example, if it want to eat from this place, what will do? The hair will move in this direction. So when the food is here, the hair will be in this direction. When the food will come here, the hair will be in the direction. So they will push the food inside. Okay, they will push the food inside. In this way, paramecium eats with the help of cilia. Now let us know about some insects. Insects are also considered as animals. Okay, the mouth part of insects such as butterflies, horseflies, sorry, how houseflies, mosquitoes and bees are modified to form a feeding tube called proboscis. Okay, proboscis, feeding tube. Remember this feeding tube to suck liquid food. How butterfly live or how mosquito live? We all know butterfly. They feed on nectar of flowering plants. Okay, they feed on nectar of flowering plants. So how they feed? They have a feeding tube. Look at this. You have seen this structure in mosquitoes also. So whenever they are not eating, what they'll do, they will fold this tube like this. Okay, like this they will fold this tube. This is a head of butterfly. Antenna, you all know butterfly have antenna for sensing purpose. Then eyes, then this tube, they will fold this tube like this. Okay, whenever not required, not eating, but when they want to eat, what they'll do, they'll unfold this feeding tube, and with the help of this they will eat nectar from the they will use nectar, they will eat nectar from the flower. Similar in case, if you relate, you want to relate, we eat cold drinks with the help of straw. What you do, whenever you want to eat, you will put the cold drinks into a bottle, and if you don't want to put, what will do, you will take out the when you are not eating, you will take out the pipe from the straw from the bottle. Similarly, when they want to eat, they will open the straw and they will put into the flower. When they don't want to eat, they will not, they will fold their straw. Okay, the next we'll start is nutrition in humans. In humans, we will learn specifically the nutrition process. Okay, we take food through the mouth. We all know we take food through the mouth, digest and utilize it. So why we eat food? To utilize it, for to get energy. After digesting, we will get energy. The undigested part of the food are expelled from the body. As I told in the previous slide, the undigested food of the body are expelled, so the body is known as digestion. Okay, the food passes through a long muscular canal called alimentary canal or digestive tract. You have seen this diagram several times. Okay, in different places. What is this? This is known as our digestive system. Okay, that is from starting from mouth to anus. There are multiple part in this digestive system. For example, liver is there, stomach is there, small intestine, large, and different part is there. Okay, but starting from mouth to the anus, the system, entire system is known as digestive system or canal. Okay, so what is digestive system? The food passes through a long muscular canal. These are all made of muscle. Starting from mouth to the anus is known as digestive tract. Okay, or digestive system. It is also known as alimentary canal. Okay, the alimentary canal begins at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus. In mouth, where it begins and where it ends, it begins at the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is nothing but the mechanism or machinery in your mouth, consisting of your tongue, your tooth, there is your gums, everything. This makes the buccal cavity. Okay, so in this step, alimentary canal consists of the following organs. There are some specific organs, major organs, which help in this in constructing this entire digestive tract or alimentary tract. The first is buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is nothing but the your tongue, then tooth. This constitute your buccal cavity. Okay, then esophagus or food pipe. From mouth, for example, if this is your mouth, it will go to your food pipe. Okay, this entire process, in this process there will some pipe from starting from your mouth to the stomach. There is a pipe from which food will travel. This pipe is known as esophagus or food pipe. Okay, then stomach. After eating, the food will go to a certain place. Initially it will, after eating, it will directly not start the process of digestion. Okay, it will go from buccal cavity, that is from your mouth, teeth, and after a treatment of your teeth and tongue, then through the food pipe, through the pipe it will go to your stomach. Stomach is a place in your tummy. Then after stomach, it is small intestine. In small intestine, the digestion process will take place. Then will come large intestine. There is the ending, at the ending of the rectum. Okay, then the final step is anus. There is the undigested food what we will remove from our body is through the anus. The inner wall of the stomach, small intestine, and various glands such as salivary glands, liver, and pancreas secrete digestive juice. Okay, so in the previous classes also no, not in the previous class. In this class, in the previous slides, I have told that in the digestive system there are some organs, but some chemicals are also secreted by some organs which help in the process. Okay, some chemicals. What are these chemicals? The inner wall of stomach, inside wall of stomach. That is then small intestine and various glands, that is such as salivary glands present in our mouth, then liver in our stomach, liver is there, sorry, in our tummy liver is there, then pancreas is there. They secrete some digestive juice which help in digestion. This digestive juice change the complex insoluble food substance into small substances. Okay, what they do, these chemicals help into changing the tough substances into soft substances. Okay, soluble food substances into complex to simple soluble food substances. Okay, the digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute digestive system. So what is digestive system? The digestive tract, that is starting from the buccal cavity to the anus, this entire tract, and along with this digestive juice secreting glands, for example small intestine, stomach, salivary glands, liver, and pancreas, all constitute together the digestive system of humans. Okay, so in digestive system we have two parts, remember. One is digestive tract, that is the organ part. Another one is associated glands. Glands means from where we get the juice or enzymes required for our digestion. The different steps in digestion, so different part in digestive tract are buccal cavity or oral cavity in your mouth, then esophagus or food pipe, that is mouth to stomach, then you have stomach, then after stomach we have small intestine, then large intestine, then ultimately anus, from where we remove all the unwanted undigested food materials. Okay, then there are three glands associated. First is salivary glands, then pancreas, then liver. Other juice we get from stomach, inner wall. Okay, but in specifically there are three glands: salivary glands, pancreas, and liver. Okay, so this is your human digestive system. Up to this much for today. In your next class we will discuss each of this step in detail. Okay. So in this class we have discussed about what is animal nutrition, what are the different steps in the process of nutrition, and what are in specific human nutrition. We have discussed the intro of human nutrition, introduction about human nutrition. Okay, so after this class you can ask your doubts, and in the next class we'll learn each of these in detail. Thank you.